Yo, what's up, breadheads?
What is up, breadheads? What is up, Drake?
Yo, this is Drake with the hardest little dick in the six. And you would like him to think fresh stock is 6666.
66666.
Hardest little dick in the six.
That's right. As you can tell already, this is a guest episode. Ty, Eric, not Drake, but we do have some podcasting friends with us today. Who do we got, Eric?
That's right. This is a pod collaboration. We got two fellow podcasters.
Yep.
They say, don't meet your fans, but don't meet your idols.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Believe it or not, this is my second favorite podcast that starts with the word how. I would like to introduce you to the How Original podcast featuring George and Patrick.
I'm Patrick, Patty, the big guy, as some have called me. And this is George.
And I'm George.
And that's George. That's right.
Yeah,
So-
this is it's honestly surreal to sit in the booth with you guys, hear that intro jingle, and I've been a listener for 3 years. So.
Wow.
Yeah, we have some diehard fans in the building right now. This is pretty sick. Actually, I don't know if George has ever listened to it.
I have chills. I've listened.
You're like, I've never even been in a Subway.
George is like, wait, I thought this was about McDonald's.
Fandom does go two ways, though. We are big fans of the How Original podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
If you haven't listened, How Original reviews Netflix films, good or bad, at least once a week. They have incredible stamina over there, 2-hour episodes every time, no matter
it's
what.
kind of a running joke between George and myself. We always promise that we're going to keep it tight and concise, and we rarely have ever done that. I think our shortest is 80 minutes, 82 minutes.
Damn, that's incredible.
Damn.
That
That's
means
like Joe Rogan numbers right there, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fun of Joe numbers.
eventually we'll have to do the Irishman and do 8 hours.
Oh, shit.
Although I still think that should be our shortest episode.
That should be the only time we keep it to 30 minutes. Doing one of the best and longest movies on Netflix.
Mhm.
But yeah, we're fascinated with Netflix. We feel that the vast majority of the movies they put out are terrible and they should be ashamed of themselves. But we dive in.
So when we found out that they do reviews of film, we thought, well, obviously we have to collaborate with them because we review Subway sandwiches. So there
We
was
don't.
Do you guys actually review them?
No, we barely even eat them.
I haven't really even talked about Subway on this pod in a few episodes.
Yeah. We just talk about things like Drake's outfits and NBA tunnel outfits and things like that.
Yeah,
You're big into the tunnel fits.
Yeah, we're mostly we're just throwing fits at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Although I think Subway sandwiches would be a good pairing for Netflix movies.
Yeah.
You're
Please let
Yeah,
us know
take a
how.
second bite of that. Yeah.
What do you guys think would be the ideal sandwich for a Netflix original?
Oh, wow. It probably
Like
depends on the show.
Sorry to jump in, but you're proposing going to Subway, ordering with the intent of knowing you're going to go home and watch a Netflix original. So what has happened in your life to bring you to this moment? Is there a gun on the table with one bullet? What's going on in that room?
Yeah, this is your last meal.
Yeah, that's... Hey, do you think anyone's ever requested Subway as their last meal on death row? Do we know whether that's ever happened?
It's such a
Probably
popular
Fogel.
franchise.
I think
Yeah.
his last meal in prison is probably going to be a 6-inch cold cut.
Damn.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. It was probably his last meal before prison. Because if you go that many years eating Subway, you probably don't even know how to make a sandwich at home, or make a salad. It's kind of a symbiotic relationship in a sense. And once that virus takes hold of you, there's no way you're going to get unattached.
Subway's like a virus that took you guys over, I would say. It's like venom that took you over.
It's really hard to stop doing what we're doing. We're just making so much fucking money.
Yeah, well, golden handcuffs, man.
Yeah, it's chill. I don't know, man. If Subway were to make an original, I'm thinking of a Subway original. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What would that be? Because everything's up to the patron to create in the booth, right?
So,
But if Subway were to make the original sandwich,
It's kind of
what
like
would
a
that be?
Cardi B takeoff McHappy Meal in the sense that, theoretically, you should be able to custom fit a Subway sandwich, a tailoring of sorts to the Netflix original.
Right.
So you two have reviewed the cinematic masterpiece, The Kissing Booth,
oh yeah.
the whole trilogy.
All three.
All three
and
kissing
each
booths.
one worse than the one that came before. So.
Yeah. the Breadheads really love the Kissing Booth franchise. It's really aspirational, so they'll have to check that out. But let's try to put together Kissing Booth footlong. I think that would be appropriate.
So,
Sure.
okay, I'm going to pitch this. A scene in the first Kissing Booth that has lived in my head literally rent-free for years before I ever thought about podcasting is a scene where Joey King and her best friend are sharing a hamburger between the two of them, like taking bites from opposite sides of like this, or maybe even the same side.
Lady
Yeah.
and the Tramp vibes.
They're sort of Lady and the Tramping it. Yeah, they can definitely Lady and the Tramp a Subway footlong.
So yeah, I think
Instead.
the Kissing Booth sandwich has to be a foot long because there needs to be enough sandwich to share it. You
Yeah.
may or may not kiss in the middle. I guess that's up to the listener.
I think that's what it has to be. I think it has to be a sandwich that you have to Lady and the Tramp while watching the Kissing Booth with a loved one.
Mhm.
And you have to kiss in the middle. You have to meet in the middle and kiss.
It is an appropriate meal option for that because you're not going to like Lady and Tramp it with like an Oreo or like a sugar fiended gummy bear. You know, it has to be something with a bit of girth to it, a bit of length.
Pause.
I actually don't think it's going to be a kissing sandwich at all. I think it's going to be more something where the male will hold the sandwich at his waist, and then there's going to be a woman on her knees taking the sandwich.
Like the
Damn.
meme that you
Like the meme
posted.
that I
That's-
posted.
I would not
Went there.
post that shit.
That's
That was
exactly
there.
what the Subway kissing booth sandwich would be, and I
Like the
think
Justin Timberlake dick in a box. Like
exactly, yeah. You
Yeah.
gotta unwrap the footlong right in front of your face,
Yeah.
and it's got extra mayo. That's all I gotta say.
Do you
Aye,
think?
aye,
Do you think a disgruntled sandwich artist on their last day has ever just whipped out their dick and put it on the counter like I fucking quit? They take the apron off.
Yes, actually. If you go into the archives of Think Fresh Instagram account, there is a photo that someone took of a sandwich artist putting balls out on the counter. It's blurred. It's
No.
safe for work, but it happens.
Depending on your workplace.
But like, who are we to question
If you work
art?
at Subway, it's not. You can't look at that. That's banned too. Shit.
It's dangerous out there. But
So is that a meatball sub he was making, or?
oh yeah, dude, extra toasted. But so I don't know. It's hard to say what the artists are doing behind closed doors. It's hard to know. Like okay, what I love about Subway is actually the transparency that it affords. Like
Yes.
from the minute you make a request to the artist to the minute sandwich in bag, you should have eyes on the footlong the whole time. Nothing should. Yeah, and so if they want to do any funny business, they're gonna have to get creative.
I think Subway should be more transparent. Like, I want to see everything. I want to follow the Subway artist home, the sandwich artist home. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what he does day to day. Like, I just want a constant camera on the the sandwich artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or even, you know how at like certain zoos and some enclosures, they'll have like a 24/7 feed of like, you can watch the otters. There's certain Subways where you can just watch sandwiches get made all day.
I want to. Yeah, I was at a Vietnamese restaurant the other day by myself. Amanda was out with a friend doing something cool, and I was like, well, I have to eat. So I went to just terrible lighting. I ordered a Vietnamese coffee at like 10 p.m. I didn't know how to drink it when it came. I had to look up how to drink it, like under the table on my phone. And the guy was like, "Are you sure you want a black Vietnamese coffee? Like, this is extremely bitter." I'm like, yeah, no problem. Anyway, they were just on loop playing people making bubble tea. And I just imagined that this was real time. Like, people are just 24/7 constantly making bubble tea at this
in a perfect
restaurant. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
loop. Yeah.
Someone's got to make it.
Dude, Vietnamese restaurants have the best TV displays.
They-
Like they're
it's
always
so
showing
nice.
more food.
Mhm.
Like it's just like while I'm eating like a bowl of pho, like I'm watching someone make like fried chicken or something. It's just like weird. Like they always have like some like cooking channel going on.
Smart propaganda, stay hungry.
Yeah.
But it's like they already accomplished their goal of getting you to sit there and eat food. Like, are you going to eat more food because you're seeing like the visual stimulus now?
Honestly, they should just like show videos of people eating dessert because that's always the
Yeah.
hardest upsell.
Yeah. A little preview into what's next.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Subway's marketing is always like try the new sub, but no, man, just cookies only. Only marketing cookies. If you're already in the door, you're getting a footlong. Just
Mhm.
get them on the cookies and chips.
Yeah. I love this zoo idea though, this live cam
Mhm.
feed.
Yeah.
Because it's really fascinating when you first walk into a Subway because you kind of get a glimpse of what they're doing when you're not there. and it's like they're always like sitting on their phone in the back, like playing Subway Surfers or on TikTok or something, and they're just like curled up and sitting on like a box.
And it's always fetal. You know,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
fetal as you can get with a cardboard box as your chair.
And then you like walk in, like ding, like the little doorbell rings.
Yeah.
And then they just go, and you like get up, put the gloves on, and you're like, what can I get for you? And it's always the exact same thing. And it's like,
I
oh.
do love entering a workplace, and there's that split second of when they're trying to look at attention. And I should say also, the Subway I go to, they have an
Like a
artist-
general has just come in.
Yeah, they salute me.
It's salute.
It's like booting up a computer in a way when you walk in that door.
Okay, so there's an artist at my Subway who has like a little face tattoo, and I'm like, I want to know what she's up to before I walk in.
Wow.
Have you guys ever had a face tat sandwich artist?
No, but like what kind of face tat? Like a
It's like a
sexy
little
one?
heart, just like a line drawing of a heart. It's a very minimalist face tattoo.
No, that's
Okay.
fairly innocent.
That's kind of
wait-
cute. I like that.
And also, I feel like if you're going to go face tattoo, like go 100 miles an hour. Like don't get a subtle little one.
Mhm.
Like 6'9", just get the full
Yeah.
like fucking or the Uzi, the new Uzi like tat on the forehead. Have you seen that?
Dude, if I was gonna get a forehead tat, I'd put a little, I'd put a little crown at the tops because I'm a prince.
Ooh,
I mean, yeah, that's a great idea.
Nah.
But Uzi's diamond was stolen, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, I was gonna say, does he still have the diamond embedded in his skin?
No, I mean he was raging obviously at Rolling Loud, I think it
Mm.
was, and it popped out and someone stole it.
Isn't that like a multiple $1 million?
Oh yeah, it was like
thing?
$25 million or something. I mean, price is kind of subjective these days.
So
anyways.
did he tat it over? Because the last few months, the like paparazzi pics have not looked good with like the indent in the forehead between the eyes. Like
Definitely not. No.
he looks like he lost a black olive.
no, but he does.
Like, there should be a vegetable there, but there
Yeah.
isn't.
No, but he does have the like a Rihanna style like henna tattoo like on his forehead,
Mm.
and it's kind of interesting. Yeah, I actually don't mind it for him.
I gotta look this up.
Yeah.
I mean, once you embed a diamond in your fucking face, I guess you can do anything from that point onwards.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was at an in-law event the other day, and one of the in-laws asked me, "Ty, are you a introvert or an extrovert?" And I looked them in the dead of the eye, and I said, "I'm a Uzi-vert." So that one went over really well with the cousins. I think I made some points there.
Yeah. Here's the tattoo.
Whoa.
Wow,
Oh
we're
my
looking
God.
at a visual
Whoa.
of Lil Uzi Vert's face. He's
You
got his
guys
eyes
should
closed.
you should post a
Beautiful.
story for the fans.
Oh yeah,
They need to be exposed to this.
They absolutely do.
the world needs to see this.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
So your sandwich artist had a face tattoo, which means one of two things. They either like they came out of gang life and this was a good minimum wage option to get them back on their feet.
Yeah, they
Or-
made out the hood.
Based on the fact that it was like a thin stroked heart, I'm thinking it was more of a art school dropout, didn't really want to follow the traditional barista route. What other artist opportunities are there?
Literally searching
Misinterpreted
artist
the
as,
job.
artist as a keyword on LinkedIn. Sandwich artist.
Like they didn't know until they walked in the door what they were getting into.
Yeah, it's interesting. She seems like most sandwich artists I've ever had, pretty quiet and not like giving a lot of input. It's a pretty one-way communication, but
Mhm.
I am curious. Yeah, I want to.
I'm
I
sure
wanna
they got
kind of-
ideas in their head. You know, they're cooking something up.
Well, yeah, they must have opinions and favorite sandwiches, and they have a whole interior life that they never share with us.
Do you guys have do you guys think Subway art? Do you think Subway art is subjective or objective? What do you think?
Subway art is
Subway
subjective.
Are you talking about the like big ass picture of the green pepper on the wall and the, and the
always
Parmesan cheese?
It's always like 20% saturated.
Yeah.
No, because the art is the sandwich, as we know.
Yes, I guess there's layers to art here, right? There's traditional art, paintings on the wall. There's performance art, the act of ordering, and then there's also the culinary art, the plating, which is the footlong that is produced.
They never really played it. So much as just wrap it and pass it. Slide it into the condom bag.
Mhm.
You're on your way.
I think
The
like,
rubber.
Yeah, I always get it in a rubber. I'm like, yo, we need to be safe. I'm walking 3 blocks back to the office. You gotta wrap it up.
wrap it up.
No glove, no love.
So Eric and I were talking a little bit about can there be good art?
Right.
Mm.
Yes. And I think the output of the conversation was, yes, there can be good art because now I have to remember the article. Do you remember anything about this whole thing?
Yes, I remember the whole thing. Basically, the whole premise was that is there such thing as good taste?
Mm-hmm.
And if there is such thing, or if there's no such thing as good taste, then there's no such thing as good art.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever had a good sandwich in your life, then that's good, literally good taste.
Yeah,
Literally.
and it might vary wildly person to person, but
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you say that if you say art is good or a art is good, then you have to also acknowledge who is good for.
Mhm.
Right.
The
So you
audience.
might be a meatball mommy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Veggie Patrick.
Nice.
Veggie patty.
Patty.
Yeah. So what are your guys' Subway orders? Like, I know you've been a few times since I've gotten to know you.
Yeah.
Every time Patrick goes to Subway, he sends Think Fresh podcast an Instagram DM of his
Yeah.
order or something related.
It's so if I can jump in real quick because I have no idea what your order is, George. I feel like it's crazy, but I have no idea.
More on
So
that later.
I'm a big flatbread guy, but I will say you're really taking your life in your hands with flatbread because sometimes you open your sub and it's all like ripped and mangled and it's like
Mhm.
slit along the seam.
Mhm.
Oh God.
It can go wrong pretty well because ideally the flatbread hinges nicely around it.
Dude,
Like
it's
a
such
taco.
Yeah. I was literally going to say, it's
Yeah.
like, I want a sandwich, but I also want a soft taco.
It does have that kind of taco feel to it.
Mm.
But usually I like to do a bit of turkey breast, maybe some bacon, cheese and toasted. I mean, if you're not getting cheese and you're not toasting, I don't know what to say to you.
That's my girlfriend. My girlfriend
No.
gets cheese, doesn't toast it.
It just sits
only
there
gets
green
That's what I'm talking
vegetables.
about, bro.
Only green vegetables on
That's
it.
what
It's
I'm
such a
saying.
power play.
Wait, she color codes it?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Just
Imagine
cukes and lettuce.
She's
Green
editing
peppers?
her sandwich.
Yes.
So George,
It's a
no
visual
green
experience.
peppers, no pickles. Because those
Uh,
are green too.
Yeah. No. So
Holy shit.
No, just pick cucumbers and lettuce.
Damn.
Wow.
And how does
Just
she
light
sauce it?
green. I think she does salt and pepper. She's a salt and pepper girl.
Interesting.
And
I'd be
she
into that.
goes with, I forget, it's like a white sauce and like a darker sauce. I forget which two.
A
she
light
does.
mayo, perhaps?
Yes.
A white sauce and a darker sauce. You're
And
ordering
dark
your
mayo.
sauce like you order your
Dark
cheese.
mayo.
Yeah.
Twisted mayo.
An
What is-
interracial sauce.
Dark mayo kind of reminds me of like the brown Listerine.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this doesn't need to be
Dude.
brown, but it's like
Like
just
the
not
Listerine,
stronger.
like the dad Listerine with the alcohol.
Yeah.
This- Oh, dude, I love that Listerine. She doesn't let me buy it.
Yeah, only Uncle has the only Uncle got the brown Listerine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, until your balls are drooping like X amount, you can't even handle the brown Listerine.
Brown Listerine is incredibly twisted. I didn't even know this existed.
Me and Pat were talking about while we were driving here because he's in the market for some Balenci sunglasses, some
Well,
really
yeah, you
sinister Balenci like red shades. And I was talking to him about like, remember the era where all dads wore those like cool biker sunglasses that are
Yeah.
like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah. I have those right now, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You never
yeah.
know when you're going to need a
It's like
club
the
when you're
Oakley.
on a
It's like
plane.
the kind of Oakley vibe.
Kind of the
or-
I was going to
Oakleys.
say
Yeah.
Oakley is what
Yeah.
I would think. And just for the record, I did order those Balenci sunglasses.
Let's go.
I need to be a full Balenci demon.
Let's
Balenci boy. Speaking of Patrick's fit today, he is wearing a YSL shirt that looks like it
Hell
has
yes.
little tiny yellow cheese slices on it. Can you explain to this Saint Laurent, how did you acquire this and why did you choose it?
Yeah, so this is a magical website called grail.com where you
Yes.
can waste many hours of your life that you could be doing other productive things during. And people frequently use Grail to acquire specific designer items or like vintage items. And
Thank you for explaining Grail to us.
I don't know what search actually brought me to this. Maybe it was like long sleeve polo. And it has a very like loud kind of 90s pattern with contrast cuffs and a contrast collar. And I was like, I look like a one episode Seinfeld character in this. I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, the Seinfeld guest vibes.
Yeah, and I will say on Grail, I really like to take my chances. Like I've ordered some stuff from the currently war-torn Ukraine, and it always arrives. So you know,
I'm so happy that you started a podcast because I think like the way you were able to take anything that happened in your life and make it into a narrative is like actually the most entertaining thing on social media. So thank you. No, thank you.
No, thank you, Patrick. Yes.
yeah. The if you follow at How Original Podcast on Instagram, you can really see all my updates about waiting for things to arrive from various nations, kind of like an unboxing type thing.
So you clearly are the social media manager of How Original Podcast. What does that leave George?
I'm sort of the bad boy of the
Mm,
pod,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you're on the ground, boots on the ground kind of guy, right?
Boots on the ground. Pat sends me to the Ukraine to get his fits for him.
I said
I'm like the
you
early
as a
days.
Ukrainian.
I'm like the early days of Vice, like going to war-torn countries. I went to the Ukraine to pick up a LSV shirt.
Yeah.
What is it? LV?
YSL.
YSL.
Yves Saint Laurent.
Yeah.
Praise Saint Laurent.
Sorry, I'm bad with acronyms.
Yeah, I
Everything
handle
we
all the
missed
acronyms. But George has more like you cut the audio together and kind of handle the recording process.
Did you say you do the acronym?
I do the acronyms.
Wait. Let's practice. Let me give you a sentence. You have to quickly give me the acronym for it.
Okay, let's go.
I would like to order a BMT.
Wait, what does BMT stand for? I still don't know.
The age-old question.
Bacon, meat, tomato?
You wish.
Mhm.
It's
Would
bacon
you like
is
to
very
like,
sinister.
like just saying meat is very intriguing. I'm really curious what that might mean.
I think it's beans, meat,
You just default to the M for meat. You just go there.
and therapy.
Dude, I need
Damn.
some bean meat therapy for
Yeah.
sure.
Wow.
So throughout my entire childhood, the local Subway franchise in my hometown, and when you're in a town that's population is under 10,000, the Subway is a real restaurant. It's acknowledged by the population. It's been accepted as a restaurant. And I asked once, my young mind already fostering the beginning of what would be Think Fresh podcast one day, asked the sandwich artist, what's the BMT stand for? And they said, contrary to popular belief, it stands for the Boston Metro Transit, named after the transit line that a subway train would run. What? However, I believe that narrative to be false because
You were fed misinfo.
I was fake news, right? Happening live. I mean, like a bunch of uneducated people is the other thing you'll find in small towns. But yeah, Subway itself has come out, and I believe they've suggested that it stands for big, meaty, tasty. Is that true? Have you
Gross.
heard that?
Very gross.
I have seen that tweet. I have seen that tweet.
What is this? A fucking grinder profile? Big, meaty, tasty.
Big, meaty, tasty.
I don't know.
And
about that
Italian.
one.
Don't forget about it.
Dude, I have a
Holy
Subway naming fact for you guys. See if you know this one.
Hit us.
Okay.
So you know when Dr. Pete.
Oh, the OG.
OG, yeah.
The OG.
The founder of Subway.
When they were working on the name, you know, it was originally, of course, Pete's Submarines. And do you guys know why they changed it to Subway eventually?
Well, I mean, it's a different method of transportation, but that's
Mhm.
all I got for you.
Perhaps the Hunt for Red October came out and you didn't want to be associated with anything related to war.
So you're close. You're
So,
close.
wait, can I guess?
Yeah.
My guess is that toxic men at the time were like, yo, I'm not getting 12 inches of Pete. Miss me with that. I'm not eating a man. Like,
Dude, every time Patrick texted me last week and he said I got a 12-inch Subway sandwich, and that made me irrationally upset. I'm like, why are you calling it a 12-inch?
Those guys back then, they're like, I'll pass on Pete's 12-inch. Get me a Bud Light, baby.
yeah.
So why did they switch the name?
So apparently it sounded too similar to, when people were saying it, it sounded too much like Pizza Marines.
Pizza
Oh.
Marines.
Yeah, it's like, so they didn't want the stolen valor.
Whoa, damn.
We don't have, these aren't Marines. These aren't servicemen
Mhm.
making these sandwiches.
Mhm.
These are
Wow.
civilians.
Different
That's-
types of service.
Yeah.
That's a cool history. Is there another restaurant that's based around like Marines making pizza?
I know about Black Rifle
Business
Coffee.
idea.
This is a business idea.
Damn, it's fairly niche. So if not, opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone is listening, don't steal that idea. We came up with that first.
Yeah.
We will be
Yeah.
pursuing
I'm going to the
copyright.
patent office immediately after this.
Actually,
This episode was actually recorded 2 months ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know,
Don't even bother.
It's already
done.
patented.
It's a wrap.
Which Subway ingredient will give a Marine the most war flashbacks? Traumatizing war flashbacks.
What's the most fucked up meat at Subway? Like you see it and you're like, ugh.
I think it's the tuna.
We could talk all night about the most fucked up meat.
Big meaty tasting.
Yeah.
I think it's actually the soup trick question because the soup is what you're served like kind of in the barracks, you know? It's like It's like there's not much going on, but we got soup. Fuck, bro, it doesn't go bad.
This reminds me of my cold nights in the trenches.
These cold cuts.
So I have a Subway related business idea I want to pitch you guys on.
Before you hit us with that, I think it's the steak and cheese because I think the flaps of the steak remind you of a wartime wound. Okay, go for the business idea.
So, in our group chat, I've kind of been pushing the idea that we should become franchise owners. Because every time we buy a sub, it's like giving a landlord rent money. It's like I have no equity. I'm making somebody else rich.
Mhm.
I could do this. So here's my idea of how I would run my Subway.
This is like your idea that you can drive the C-Bus. I can own a Subway
Look,
franchise.
I could 100% drive the C-Bus with no formal training. I'm just different, cut from a different cloth.
Dude, this is the same reason why every dude wears Tom Cruise sunglasses because they're like, I might need to commandeer a plane at any point.
Yeah.
I don't want solar flare in my eye.
I saw this thing that's like X percentage of men believe they could land a plane in an emergency. I'm like, no doubt I could. Anyway, so here's my Subway idea. So it's a regular Subway, but if you go in, there's a secret order, and it's going to be like 12-inch flatbread with meatballs, cheese, triple toasted. And you kind of say it knowingly, and the artist slides you a code or like a key, and they're like, spin the block for a half hour, we'll seat you when you're back. And then there's a speakeasy.
Oh, shit. Dude.
Now, I haven't read a Subway franchise agreement. I don't know if this is explicitly prohibited, but I'm thinking it might be Air Bud rules where it's like nobody said a dog couldn't play basketball. So you can just do it.
Oh, I guarantee you it's not in the contract. Also, in true prohibition style, you should probably not let the suits at Big White know what's happening there.
No,
All they see is that red onion light blinking above the back
Red
out the
onion
door.
You know what's crazy? Speaking of Air Bud basketball, I'm in that movie.
What?
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, fun fact about Eric. Okay, lay it down.
Holy shit.
Lay it down for the breadheads.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I mean, there's not much to break down. I was probably like 12 years old. This is like,
What was your scene?
oh, I'm an extra. Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
That was dog number 2.
I'm literally.
Tell us your lines.
I'm a fucking dog.
Hey, I'm a dog.
I'm a you dog. I'm in the movie, sitting in the stands, pretending to care about this basketball game with dogs in it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because it was shot in Fort Langley, British Columbia, which is close to where I grew up, and I played basketball at the time, and they obviously solicited my basketball team to be a part of this. And all of my friends were playing in the game, but I was too tall, so I had to sit in the stands because I looked like an older kid.
That's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
It would be even funnier if you're like, I was actually the dog basketball consultant. Where I was like, this is how a dog would realistically play basketball.
Fun fact: they had, I don't know if it's in the movie or not, but they put little shoes on the on the dog, like little basketball shoes,
No.
and the dog was like not having it. He like immediately kicked them off, and then I don't know. I just assumed they like proceeded without it because it was like too much of a hassle, but they did try.
Little LeBrons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
little
can you
Kobe's on
ID
there.
the sneakers from memory?
No, they just look like little like leather socks.
Those had to be a 1 of 1.
Yeah.
Are those on Grail?
Yeah, those are your Grail,
Yeah. I gotta find those on Grail.
Oh fuck.
Wait, I have so many questions. So, was it impressive watching the dog in real time? Was it as impressive as seeing the dog play in the movie?
Unfortunately, the CGI took over, and yeah, the CGI good guy won at the end. But yeah, it was pretty underwhelming in person because the dogs were not having it; they were just running around and doing their own thing.
It makes
But
sense.
I got to meet the cast of the next movie, which was like all the puppies.
Oh, hell
They, were,
yeah.
they brought all the puppies there, and that was the best part.
Did any of the dogs ever poop on the tarmac, or what do they call them?
On the basketball court,
Yeah, in the paint.
Tarmac court.
Yeah.
No, they did not. That would have been a nice moment.
It'd be probably pretty cringy to watch because it's like they're retrievers, not shooters, right? So like, you can,
They're spitters, not quitters.
yeah, you can teach them a play, but you can't really teach them the spirit of the game.
Yeah, they should have been like a football team,
Yeah.
or were they? Is there another movie that?
I
Honestly,
think Air
baseball-
Bud has done numerous sports.
Yeah, right.
Dude, baseball, that makes like pretty obvious. Like, go fetch that ball in the outer field, you know?
Yeah.
But the throwing it would be challenging.
Yeah, how do you teach a dog
Yeah.
to throw?
Ah.
Huh.
Next
Much longer.
Netflix original for.
Well, I was going to say, so the most prominent Subway placement that I've seen in Netflix movies so far has been the original To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Right.
Because Madeline Arthur, who I'm also madly in love with, her character, Madeline, get at me. Her character makes a big deal. Like, we're going to Subway, and they have like the branded Subway cups, like the styrofoam cups.
I like how George replied to that with like, "Oh yeah, like 1 hour 23 minutes. That's what happened."
This guy knows the timestamp.
I actually have noticed, and Eric's going to be like, "This is a stupid comment," but Subway is very, very omniscient in most film. As far as all fast food goes, I see Subway is placed in film and TV all over the place. Like I think about Community. Like there was a guy named Subway in Community. All these like Korean TV shows have Subway everywhere in it. People like hang out there, kind of like the Friends coffee shop. You know,
hanging out at a Subway as like a third place or a public sphere is insane.
Yeah, Subway as the third place is crazy.
When I go to a Subway, I'm like doing the bank job from Heat. I'm in and out.
Oh yeah,
I'm like brandishing my gun on the counter.
You literally have a
Fuck
bag
out.
as you're running out, throwing the mask down.
Yeah.
No one should know I was here.
I'm shocked that there's not enough like Subway drive-throughs because like sure like the creation of the sandwich is not really great for driving through, but
Can you imagine the lollygagging that would take place at those drive-thrus? a little more olives, just a few more olives.
I also think if you can like afford a getaway car, like you're probably going to Panera or Sweet Green or something. You know, like
yes, definitely.
I think there's a commonality perhaps between our podcasts where people are at the lowest point in their life when they're consuming the most Subway and the most Netflix originals.
hell yeah, dude. And you're at an even lower point if you're listening to a podcast about either of those subjects.
And you're at rock bottom if you're creating a podcast, which I maintain is a good ingredient. If you want to become a podcaster, if things are going well for you, don't start. You need to have failed at everything in your life. People need to hate you. They need to not believe in you.
I got the new McDonald's Chicken Big Mac after my therapy session last Monday.
Let's go. It's so fire, right? It's so good.
It was sick, dude. It was
nice.
so good.
So
I
did
munched
you-
it in the car.
Did you decide during the therapy session you're like, fuck, I need to like have McDonald's after this?
Well, it was next door to a McDonald's, so I
Okay.
kind of had to do it. Yeah.
Nice,
Dude,
nice.
that's crazy because you probably saw the McDonald's when you were walking in, and then
Yeah.
the whole session you're like, physically I'm here, but mentally I'm next door.
Like, this is something I have to work on.
Yeah.
This is what I'm working
I'm
on.
fucking hungry, guys.
George.
Hungry all the time.
Jordan, I feel like the goal of therapy is to turn you into the person who can say no to McDonald's. But, you know, they got me.
Dude.
And for transparency, I ordered A&W to my apartment 2 nights in a row this week. So,
Holy shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Damn.
First or second order. So I will say I'm very upset that they stopped doing the limited time chicken nuggets. They were so good.
Oh, they stopped that?
Yeah, because I introduced George to the nuggets.
How do they compare to McDonald's nuggets?
Oh.
Favorably.
More-
I would prefer them.
It feels like there's more molecules in them.
So it just
Feels like there's
greater
more-
What does
mass.
that even mean?
Whatever
Like,
it
it's
is,
denser?
They're denser. More cells. There's more cells.
They're
I
made in
would-
the Chernobyl like reactor 4.
I would say the A&W nuggets seem more like it could have been an actual bird once than the McNuggets, where it's like, this has never existed in
Oh, I
nature.
see what you're saying. Yeah.
This was grown in a test
Dude.
tube.
How birdacious it is. It should be a litmus test of
Yeah.
taste. Like I think of that a lot about the chicken breast at Subway because it looks neither like a chicken nor a breast. And I've seen both. It looks like,
Despite what you might believe.
it looks.
Despite what people say on your subreddit.
Yeah.
I've seen both.
You've seen a breast.
I've seen at least one. Yeah.
Only one at a time.
Uh,
I get too excited if I see both.
the chicken breast looks like a hard drive if you like breaded it and deep fried it.
God damn it, dude.
What's the Kanye line about like your titties prove I can
I
focus
was
on two
adjusting.
things at once?
Damn,
I
yeah,
was
that's
just thinking
either
that.
side of the 6-inch, right?
Yeah. Sorry, babe. My ADD is too crazy. Can you only show me one titty?
I haven't taken my Adderall yet. Just show me
Yeah.
one.
Damn.
What time are we at? We're trying to keep this concise, right? Because we have to go play tennis.
Yeah, so
Oh,
after
we're
this,
cruising. We're way over time because
Hell yes.
we're hanging out for way too long before this. But I'm sure you can cancel everything.
I can start negotiating.
I knew we would peer pressure you.
We didn't even try to, and
Yeah.
it's already happening.
You guys didn't do anything. I just drank 2 Budweisers, and that put me over the edge.
I haven't talked about my fit yet. You guys reminded me because I wore this
Oh, yeah,
Lacoste shirt, this Roland Garros
Oh, dude, you're gonna smoke
Lacoste
us.
shirt, just
Oh,
for
damn.
specifically for tennis.
You own tennis
Or
attire?
where is that?
So I looked it up. Apparently, it's a tennis tournament.
Dude,
Fuck.
you could have played that off because, yeah, I was as soon as you brought that up, I was worried that you were gonna smoke everyone at the court today, but
Mm.
now I'm getting back up there. So
The dude serving looks and aces.
yeah. It's in Paris, the tournament, the French Open.
Ooh la la.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it seems like you know that,
Yeah.
which is worrying me now about my performance on the court, on the tarmac.
I can.
Can the dog play tennis?
Great question. Airbud, you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Specifically Airbud.
Or me, because I'm also
the dog inside Eric.
Yeah. Well, I can beat Ty consistently.
That's not true. Eric is now 2 Budweisers deep, which means it's a pretty even match because I get really good with beer in me and you get really bad. And it's because I'm used
It's
to
true.
physical activity with beer in me.
That's true. I'm an
That's
actual
small town in
athlete,
you.
so drinking beer really inhibits my abilities. But
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like any true pro athlete.
yeah. So at this given moment, Ty will probably beat me.
Hell yeah.
But
And you are in the compression shorts under the Nocta shorts, which is ideal podcasting and athletic.
yeah, exactly.
gear.
I got to keep the circulation going in this region
Yeah.
just for the pod.
Both
Yeah.
activities give you swass.
Yeah, just like Drake said, hard feelings, harder dick. Am I right, boys?
That
He
what's
says that.
going on?
We should talk about this for a
He
sec.
wore a jacket that said that. What is happening
What?
with Drake?
Yeah.
This man has lost his goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Ever since Millie Bobby Brown was like, nah.
Ever
Yo,
since
this
you
is Drake with the hardest little dick in the 6. And you would like him to think fresh stockers. 6666.
6666. 6666. Which is a reference to his penis. We now all know.
Yes, we are now informed.
We are now
Yeah,
informed about
confirmed.
that. I was actually just reading on TMZ today about how Pete Davidson is still defending to the media that he has an average sized penis. The one story they will not let go.
I don't even know what to believe anymore.
I don't know
I don't
either.
even know if he has a dick at this point.
This is great marketing for Skeet though, because he is he's now making every girl curious.
Mhm.
Like I
Yes.
really want to find out for myself if his dick is gargantuan or just a 6-inch.
right,
Mhm.
because it wouldn't be interesting if my dick's big. You're right.
Yeah.
Now there's a little mystery here.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
It's like,
So-
oh, he's very down to earth. He's
Ladies
downplaying
like
his huge
little
cock.
true crime.
So, have any of you
Yeah.
guys seen the Linklater movie Everybody Wants Some? 2 exclamation points. Because in this movie, there is a character who is telling women at a bar, like, my dick is the most average possible. And then his teammates are saying, like, oh yeah, he's doing his whole, like, average dick routine. Women love it. They want to, if you come in guns blazing saying, like, I have the hugest dick, it's like, yeah, that's cap. But if you're like, oh, I'm statistically very average, then they're like,
Dude, that's so awesome as an idea because, hear me out. If you can kind of describe yourself as the median, then that means that you can use yourself as a benchmark for all other penises for the woman, which means like, hey, sleep with me, and then everybody relative to me, you can actually say is above or below average. There's actually a value proposition to having that experience with your penis.
And women are very bad at spatial reasoning as well, so they need a lot of help.
We need a whole other podcast about that. Patrick.
Object permanence.
That's so George and I do a podcast where we slander women a lot, I would say.
Shout out to How Original Podcast.
Yeah, tune into How Original if you want to hear about the alleged gender wage gap. We're going to be diving into those statistics next episode.
Linked in the description.
Yeah. A lot of charts and figures. But yeah, what would you guys say is the best era of Drake for you? Because for me, it's still the Take Care era, like, by
Obviously.
far and away.
For sure.
Oh.
I think he's never reached that height again in my eyes.
So I felt like Take Care
In my
was,
eyes.
Take Care was where he was had a really nice tension between like being hard and being vulnerable.
Mhm.
And it's because he went 60-40 with the vulnerable.
You gotta clarify what you mean by hard, though.
Yeah.
After,
Yeah,
after
sorry.
that last topic.
You're right. Emotionally hard.
He was erect the
Yeah.
entire time he was recording.
Yeah.
When he was doing the cover shoot, sitting at the table with all the gold, he was very hard.
He was bricked up in the booth the whole time. But ever since then, every
Rick Depp sounds like he was constipated.
maybe, dude.
Dude,
The,
to be fully hard and fully constipated, that makes
Wow.
for a great album, I think.
the
That's the recipe for a great album.
You're erect, you're constipated. The Cacho e Pepe at Soto Soto is not going through the system.
Yeah.
But
No, pressure creates diamonds, boys.
hell yeah. If it can't go out one end, you got better bars coming out the other end, right?
Yes,
Yeah, it comes
yes.
back at the other end.
Yeah, so 60-40, vulnerable to hard emotionally. But every album after that, he was like, I'm going to add 10% to the hard factor and kind of get away from the vulnerable side. And then he like over-indexed on that IMO until honestly, never mind, when he said, fuck it, new strategy. We are pivoting, and now I'm just going to make like Get Wasted in Ibiza music.
Completely mids.
Yeah.
He's fully mids.
So you think Certified Lover Boy was his hardest album?
I mean, when you say it out loud, it sounds wrong. But if you actually listen to the lyrical content, and I know some people subscribe to the,
He called himself a lesbian.
that's true. But
I
like,
don't think he's claiming to be hard at
okay,
all.
maybe it's not hard. Maybe it's just about like more assertive, or like more like less self doubt. You know, like Drake's hardness is mostly confidence. So he didn't say like maybe I'm a lesbian. He said I'm a lesbian.
Girl,
Right.
me too.
Girl, me too. Yeah.
That's like
He's part of the Me Too movement.
Imagine how horny you have to be to just be like, you're a lesbian? Fuck it, yeah, me too.
Yeah, fuck
it.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, me too, whatever. Can we hit?
This dude was actually down bad.
Dude, this man is a menace.
He's the human equivalent of Bud Light. He's up for whatever.
And this is we should clarify, a Bud heavy podcast, right? You guys have never had Bud Light.
We're drinking Red Buds on this fucking show.
Yeah.
We're drinking Airbuds on this show.
We're drinking Airbuds. Wow.
Red State, Airbud.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, I don't know where I stand on this because I think his music has gotten better over time. Like, Take Care is like a nostalgic, like, I love it. You know what I mean? When I revisit it, it's so good. But I love, like, the new shit because I just like him as a person, maybe.
I do like Search and Rescue quite a bit, and I feel like it's the best song he's put out in a long time.
Oh, for
If anything, he's gotten more toxic over the years. And I think I like Toxic Drake the most.
Mm-hmm.
My hot take, you know, when like the first album of an artist that you listen to is the one you like imprint on and you like go back to, like
Yeah.
no matter if
Yeah.
it's their best work or their worst work, it's
Yeah.
like this is the one that gets me on board. This is my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
So for a long time I was a never Draker. I I was like, I'm fuck this guy, because for me it was always the dichotomy between Drake and Kanye, and I was always like, Kanye's the real artist. He's the real sandwich artist, you know. It's like Drake, he's a complete sellout. I'm never listening to this guy. For me, it was a dichotomy.
Drake is Quiznos.
And then I grew up. Yeah, Drake is fully Quiznos.
It's a sort of jalapeno to the sandwich.
A little too refined.
And then I grew up and realized like it doesn't have to be a dichotomy. I can listen to both things and enjoy them. And so the album that I chose to enter this new phase of my life on was Dark Lane Demo Tapes.
Interesting.
Oh.
So this is for some reason
Yeah, pandemic
like,
classic.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
dude.
dude, Dark Lane Demo Tapes rules.
Kind of a sleeper album,
A
yeah.
quiet banger, that
Yeah,
album. Yeah,
absolutely
underrated.
agree.
Mhm.
That album is sick.
Yeah.
And I think his sickest album cover, if I do say so. I know the gold, you know, hands table.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying words. That album is like, yeah, the most iconic album cover, I
Yeah.
think.
I think as podcasters, we relate to the cover of Take Care because it's like you're suffering from success, you know?
Yes.
You made it, but at what cost? It's alienating. You might be, it's lonely at the top.
And the dude's literally in a booth.
He is
Yeah.
seated in a
He's
booth.
seated in a booth.
I've always wondered, what's the rest of the restaurant look like from the Take Care cover?
Oh yeah, so it's a restaurant in like Yorkdale in Toronto. I've looked it up. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Maybe you know it, Eric.
I don't know.
But you have your entire RAM is dedicated to the Drake archives. I can pull it right now, but it looks like the booth. It's just a bunch of like red tapestry and like candlelit seating.
Okay.
I think it's only 3 stars on or 3 price tags on Yelp. I think it's like
Oh.
it's within reason to go eat there.
So guys like us could conceivably have an activation there.
How many people do you think
Interesting.
have come into that restaurant and like reenacted that photo?
Yeah. Oh fuck.
They
So
have
many
like the
Persians.
props that they bring out.
Probably have a plaque next to the booth at this point.
Yeah, dude. So many Persians are like, I want the drink table.
Yeah. Well, George, I just learned that the diner from Heat, where De Niro and Pacino finally have their face-off, is no longer operational in
Really?
LA, so we can't go visit that.
Damn.
And yeah, I was telling you, I was trying to find us a showing at the New Beverly Tarantino's theater
Yeah.
to go watch something, but all the good stuff is sold out. Because it was like once upon a time in Hollywood.
Oh, that would have been sick.
We
We should hit the Comedy Store.
we did in the
yeah.
store.
Hell yeah.
Yo, should we do that?
Yeah, we
We
should.
should.
Dude,
Let's do it.
100%. It's on Sunset, I think.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've been
Yeah.
there once. Watched Bill Burr pop in. It was awesome.
Oh,
shit.
sick.
Yeah.
Very cool.
After we get kicked out of the Ace for smoking on the rooftop, we're just homeless.
Throwing buds into the pool.
Oh, you mean you can't do this? Well, they never said a dog can't play basketball. They never said you can't have a speakeasy in your subway. How are we to know?
So my favorite movie is You've Got Mail. Speaking of dogs in movies, and there's also a golden retriever heavily featured in that movie. And then at the end of the movie, there's an iconic scene. I don't know if you guys seen that movie.
I don't know that movie.
Does he like kiss the golden retriever? Like, is there?
He's
any
actually
intimacy?
been in love with the dog the whole time, so the dog is
Yeah.
sending Tom Hanks all the emails.
Right? Yeah. The
Yeah,
dog is dog fishing.
Yeah, dog.
Tom Hanks.
Dog
Yeah. And at the end of the movie, he finally meets Meg Ryan, and they realize they have been sending messages to each other. And then he's like, "You'll see me. I'll be the guy with the dog." And so he's like, so at the end of the movie, he comes out and they kiss, and the dog's like jumping on him. It's this iconic scene. And then I saw in the credits, because I'm such a super fan, like there's 2 dogs that are playing Brinkley. And so a fun game that I play whenever I watch this movie is like trying to figure out what scene is which dog in. And at this point, I've seen it so many times that I'm able to discern like
No.
there's a slightly thicker dog. There's a slightly chunkier, thicker
Hell yeah.
dog.
That's
And
the
so
hot one.
That's
This is like an
insane.
Olsen twin situation
Yes.
going on
Oh,
here.
yeah.
I play the same game with Eric when he orders the BMT. I'm like, is that the ham or is that the which one is that?
Trick question. They're all actually the same meat.
And they're all the same
just
meat.
dressed differently.
Yeah. Colored.
That's crazy that guys have been using dogs to get pussy for decades.
oh yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Because now it's like, hey, I mean, at one point, I was using a photo of me with a dog that was not my dog on Tinder.
Yeah.
Dude,
Classic.
like it's weird crazy that it still works because it's so overplayed.
Exactly.
Like, get a parrot.
It's
man.
so obvious. It's like, of course it's not my dog, you idiot. But
They
now
keep
we're
falling.
talking.
They keep
so,
falling for it.
Yeah.
Girls love dogs.
Anyway, that's I imagine you guys have a lot of listeners who have not done so well with women, much like our listeners probably. So that's some advice. Like,
Yeah,
Hey,
the
you
event.
said it, not me.
We were like figuring out like what is the commonality between our podcasts. And at the end of the day, it's the demographic. The Venn diagram here is just men who can't get laid.
yeah, because why would they be listening to us if they were out being in love and going on dates, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
The
bro, go
man
start a
diagram.
family. What are you doing?
literally. One of my friends is now starting a family, and I'm like, ah, fuck.
Losing a listener.
He joked about that meme to me. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Shout out to our fallen troops.
Subway should. What do you guys think about Spam as a choice of meat at Subway?
I'm a big spam proponent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love. I think like the way like Asians have used it
Yeah.
is probably the best.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like spam in general is just a great meat. It's like kind of freaky, and like whenever you bring it up to people who don't eat it, they're like,
It's controversial.
You're like, what the fuck are you, psycho? But date an Asian girl and you'll start eating spam.
Yeah.
It's pretty popular in Australia, mate, as well.
Yeah.
And that makes me realize that spam is a global like thing that everyone really likes except in North America. But we have so many unhinged meats here. We got hot dogs. We got the tuna sub. We got, I don't know, Pete Davidson. So it makes me think like, why are we
Meat Davidson.
Meet Davidson? That episode title actually.
I was
Episode
literally
128.
just thinking Pete Davidson. Timestamp that.
Yeah, episode 128. I don't know why we're not getting on board with spam. I actually think there's a dark force here that's trying to suppress the spam industry because there's no
Yes.
reason it wouldn't take off.
Yeah.
Like,
the traditional meat industry is spreading propaganda about spam.
I think it's the World Economic Forum, personally.
The Rothschilds suppressing spam. Have you guys seen the meme where it's like the super sped up footage of Kyle Rittenhouse crying at his trial? And it's like the Rothschilds, like me explained to my boss how the Rothschilds put a bunch of like gambling and big booty Latina videos on my work computer. Everyone should go follow the Instagram account at Funny Degenerate. There's some super good stuff there.
I like that you said big booty Latinos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Did I?
Yes.
Whoa, wait. I didn't mean to. Latina.
Run it back.
Strike that from the record.
Why are you gendering the Latinx community?
Well, I'm paraphrasing what meme creators have done. You know, I'm not just inventing a meme.
You're merely the messenger.
Yeah. I'm just conveying to you what I've found on Instagram.
So let's get into Latinas for a sec. What's the best country for Latinas? I think Colombia.
Good question. I actually have no idea. I'm going to pass the torch to someone else here.
You're the only single one here, so.
I guess, yeah.
So I one time made a culturally inappropriate remark about Latinas. I'll share it live on this pod if you guys will have me. I was trying to open a checking account at Wells Fargo in the Mission District of San Francisco. And
I am dying to know where this is going and how you ended up being inadvertently racist and why any of this happened.
Yeah, I understand the proximity, but I really want to know what you said too.
It's a pretty underwhelming story. I think the setup is more interesting than the output. But the Mission District is a historically Mexican neighborhood of San Francisco. And I said to the Mexican woman that was helping me at the bank, I said, she's like, "Are you new to the area?" I said, "Yeah, I really like all the Latina culture here." And then she said, "Well,
man.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Mexican isn't really Latina. It's kind of like a blurry line, and you probably shouldn't generalize that." And I thought, well, I'm never going to talk about that ever again.
I'm never going to talk to
I got my bank account and I was on my way.
I'm never going to talk to Mexicans. I guess I'm done.
I'll say fuck away from Home Depot. Okay.
I deleted Duolingo. I was out.
So wait, why are you opening this bank account in a city you don't live in?
Well, when you are a podcaster of my stature, Patrick, you need a few international resources. Mm-hmm.
This reminds me of when I opened.
I think I get what you're saying. To collect money from the Anchor platform.
Fuck Anchor. On this podcast, we don't fuck with Anchor at
Yeah,
all.
we don't fuck with Anchor.
Well, we kind of fuck with them.
Hey, you're on our show today.
Go ahead, say it. Fuck Anchor. It feels good. Just
Say it out.
No.
what does Kanye say? He's like, say it out loud just to see how it feels.
Anchor was a choice.
Anchor is a choice. I'm still on it. I don't know why we are.
That reminds me of when I went to the States for a week, actually to LA, I think, and for some reason it made sense for me to sign up for the US Safeway card that I knew I was never going to use again. And I told them I'm Canadian, I have a Canadian address. Can I still sign up for this at the till? They're like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. So I went through the 10-minute sign up process.
So what was the benefit of this card?
I think I got some deal. I think I had some deals on some stuff. Yeah.
And there was no subscription fee or really no barrier to entry that would make you think let's not do this.
Absolutely not. No, the door was wide open. Yeah.
Dude, what a dangerous game. I was really down bad in my early 20s and I thought I need to make some money, right?
Yeah.
As we all do. And I wish I just thought of becoming a sandwich artist because all you have to do is show them your half complete art degree. And next thing you know, you're toasting subs. But instead, I got really into online contests. So I was shilling out my email to any website that would take it in order to win anything. Because I saw this Japanese show where they all won contests. And that was the whole idea, was they just entered online contests to see who could win more.
So it became profitable if you do it at if you scale up enough and just give it out to anyone.
Yes, and my addictive personality found this as a way to participate in the gambling industry without actually losing anything but my personal information, yeah, all my data.
Identities.
So
you're like a high school grad, grade 12,
Essentially.
applying for scholarships.
yeah, so a decade
everywhere.
later, I'm still dealing with all the spam, if you will, in my inbox because I like signed up for some like random like I don't know, like smut book or like
Wait,
was
what?
doing a contest.
Hold on, rewind. You signed up for
Yeah,
what?
what kind of contest is like?
Or-
You get the fuck the porn star
The
contest?
author.
You're like, yeah, I'm getting Hustler magazine now, but it's a good financial investment,
Dude, it was a really weird time. I did so many online coloring contests because that was another way you could like win money is if you had the
What?
best. Yeah, dude, you can win so many gift cards if you do coloring contests online. There's a whole industry for it. And
Wait, what do you mean?
you just fucking vector fill in Photoshop. It's so
Are you
easy.
competing against children who are like coloring by hand? And you're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, I don't know how to use Adobe Creative
No,
Suite.
you literally are. You're competing against children. Yeah, like the CVS will like put on a coloring contest for Easter, and they'll be like $50 gift card to CVS for the winner. Dude, you could slide in there, fucking make the Easter bunny purple. They love that shit.
Whoa.
Wow,
God
They're
damn,
like so
dude.
progressive.
Wow.
Well, at least you were using your art degree towards something.
Exactly. But I'm still reconciling with it because my email account is full. Like my personal email account has more spam than ThinkFresh email account, and we're getting a lot of cold calls from potential sponsors. So
Cold cut calls.
cold calls.
combos, yeah.
I've been pretty judicious about how I use the howoriginalpod@gmail.com email address.
Shout out to How Original Pod.
Yeah, I think I did use it when I bought a pair of Adidas, but then I quickly unsubscribed.
Dude, you got to get that 15% off first time user discount, right?
Well, that's how they get you, man. The first time user discount.
Well, now that iCloud has like the hide my email feature, you just use that and you get your first time customer every time.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right.
You just like, and it just forwards to your inbox. So it's like the same.
That's smart.
Yeah.
If you're still listening to the 56-minute mark and you like getting discounts, I would recommend using code ThinkFresh12 to get 12% off a BlendJet blender. That's right, we are BlendJet ambassadors. 50% of this room is a BlendJet ambassador. We highly recommend you invest in this technology.
And the
Absolutely.
other 50% aspires to be. So, you
Yeah.
know.
Have you had the pleasure of trying out a blend?
No, not yet.
Oh,
Well,
fuck.
yeah,
Well,
we'll
I
have
think
to
by
grab
the end of
Eric's
the night
expertise.
we'll be blending up something.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'd love to get my hands on the BlendJet. I've heard it on the podcast.
Yeah.
I've heard about all the different colorways.
You don't have to talk about it. You're not getting paid for
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm flipping
I
through
appreciate
two
that.
cards.
Don't have to sell out yet.
That's true. I mean, we're coming up on an hour. Should
Mhm.
we wind down? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I mean, any topics? We'll
Yeah.
let you plug later, but
No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, this conversation was really a meeting of the minds that went to some places I never could have envisioned.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just thinking, other races we might want to touch on. Or
Yeah, have we offended people? What are all the races of people we've offended?
Offend everyone
at least
equally.
mention some, or like most, I think.
just shouts out Thai people.
Yeah.
Or I guess,
I would say also for
I was
the
just gonna say you're a Thai person.
I looked at it like,
Yeah, I am a Thai person.
TY land, I was going to say, George, I think you and I probably offended the most people on our podcast, How Original, when you claimed in the Hand of God episode that the sport of soccer is not an art.
Yes.
And we had a lot of
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
losers, haters, and Europeans get mad at us.
I was kind of pissed about that too.
Damn.
It probably the most incendiary comment that's been made on our podcast.
Mhm.
And I'm
So
here to
far.
say, soccer still not an art.
You
Subway sandwich making is art.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a good one
All
to
right,
close
that's
on.
a great closing note. We will give the red and green tiled floor to you two if you have anything to say about How Original Podcast or something you'd like to share with the breadheads to get them to engage with the beautiful content that you're creating.
And I want to also ask, what is the episode that you think most people would like to enjoy listening to?
Mm.
Nice call, nice call.
Because I feel like when it's like you recommend a podcast to people, it's like
Mhm.
I actually don't really care because there's like too much shit to get into.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
Like, we
overwhelming. It's like seeing two titties.
Exactly.
It's hard to focus on two things
It's way
at
too
once.
much.
Damn, yeah.
So I would actually say our most recent episode, Your Place or Mine, the Reese Witherspoon, Ashton Kutcher movie. I think that's probably our best episode to date.
I was gonna say that, or maybe the one before that, Cam, I thought was very good too.
Cam, or maybe try the Kissing Booth 2 episode. Yeah, I will say the audio is very rough in our first episode where we do the first Kissing Booth, but I feel like if you're a real How Original head, if you want to know the lore, we also, well, I tell a good story about hanging out with you guys and doing a podcast activity.
Hell yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
you know, if you listen to some of our later episodes and you want to know the lore and how everything began, check out the Kissing Booth 1.
Mhm.
But
But the whole
basi-
trilogy is fantastic.
Basically, the pitch for the pod, if you will, I feel like Netflix has had a chokehold on culture and streaming for such a long time, but we really need to take a look at these movies. What the fuck is happening at Netflix? Because so many of these are just insane. So I think we scrutinize movies that maybe haven't been held up to the light in such a way before.
Right.
Mm.
People are too complacent
Yes.
with their Netflix media, and we're here to shine a light. We're
Yeah.
here we want transparency just like they have in that subway booth.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
want to.
We want to look through the Steez guard.
Mhm.
We're fogging up the sneeze guard.
Mhm.
And I should say also, the podcast is a mix between terrible movies and movies that we feel are kind of deep cuts that are maybe underappreciated that we want to get more people watching. So it's not, I mean, it's primarily a bad movie podcast, but we also do have some picks where it's like, we genuinely would recommend people go ahead and watch these.
I love
So,
that.
yeah,
You're pulling up the nutritional facts of the film, if you will.
the horrifying calorie information. You won't believe what the Kissing Booth does to the human body.
It's amazing. Well, thank you to both of you for joining us today. Thank you to the Breadheads for following along with this journey. Make sure to
you
check
so
out
much,
How
man. Thank you
Original
so much.
Podcast.
Thank you guys. Thank you, breadheads. Keep getting bread. Keep getting head.
Hell yeah.
Double the bread, double the head. What
Can't
can
believe
we
we've
say?
never said that.
Peace.
Peace.